feel like you know you've made it in the queer community. You know that you've been accepted and embraced by the entire queer community when the barista at the cafe assumes that you want oat milk. This could also just be about, you know, Glasgow's massive vegan friendliness, but I'm gonna choose to believe that I look queer. What's up, you guys? If you don't know me, my name is Liz. I am a postgraduate student at the University of Glasgow, and I've just come home from my very first Pride March. Now, I have attended Pride events before, but I'm gonna get into it. But now that I'm home, I just wanted to come on here and chat with you guys a little bit about how the march went earlier today and my experience there, but also just my experience as a queer person in Glasgow in general, because that's a really concerning topic for people moving here. So like I said, this is the very first Pride March that I have ever participated in, and while I was able to get a decent amount of footage, and I will cue the B-roll in just a sec, it's not gonna be the best quality. I was more invested in being in the moment in the march and really appreciating the act of marching and the community around it. So my apologies if the B-roll isn't great, but it is what I have. Now, like I said, this was my first Pride March, if not my first Pride event. Having moved here from New York, Pride in New York is such a big affair that they have to restrict access to the march. And so not everyone is allowed to participate in the parade. And for a lot of people, Pride ends up just being this big street party, big festival, which is a fantastic thing. It is so wonderful to see so much queer joy in one place and expression, and it does definitely show how far we've come since Stonewall. But at the same time, being able to participate in an actual march, for me it felt kind of like taking up the mantle and taking up the protest from whence Pride is originated. Did that sentence make sense? I don't know. I'm maybe a little bit emotional today. It also felt like a big deal for me today because ever since moving to Glasgow, not only do I feel safe and welcomed by the Glaswegian and larger Scottish communities as a queer person, but I have also found that since being here, I have developed or found a network and support system of other queer people that I never had before. I have always felt a little bit isolated in my queerness. I think that comes from just being an introvert a lot of the time. This isn't a therapy session. Why am I therapizing? Anyway, I've always felt a little bit isolated in my queerness, but ever since moving here, I have been just completely enveloped by the queer community. I have made so many queer friends. I have had the immense joy of joining a queer climbers club through the Climbing Academy, which is a network of rock climbing gyms around Glasgow. And even though I personally have not participated in them, there are also queer and LGBT clubs and societies through Glasgow Uni because she's an ally. I would love to participate with those clubs a little bit come next fall, but even just operating as an individual and not participating with those societies, I've still managed to become part of a larger queer network here in Glasgow because it is so safe and it is so open and accepting. Scottish people, the loves of my life. Now, I know that this video has been relatively short and it's not gone into great detail about LGBTQ life here in Glasgow. Today was really just about the Pride Parade itself and also letting y'all know, especially if you've never been here before, if you're coming from far away and you're not quite sure what to expect as a queer person, this conversation is more meant to quell any fears or worries that you may have, because I know I had a lot of those fears too, and living here has proved those fears. Living here has proved me wrong, and I couldn't be happier about it. Okay, I'm fine. I'm fine. Are you fine? I'm fine. I'm good. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you have had those concerns, I hope I've been able to ease them a little bit, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Bye.